Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of HaxBall Go Tactical Analysis. Here we have a go from Division 1, Match Day 6, and like in the previous episode, we'll first watch it and then we'll make a quick analysis of what went wrong for the conceding team. Okay, so I would like to start from here because I think this is pretty much the beginning of the attack for the red team. Now, one of the most important things here to say is that the way that this ball was kicked into throw in, it might have uh, confused number 7 here that this might get throw in for the blue team because he made a strange move uh, straight towards the enemy goal, which in our situation I think plays not the key role but definitely a factor in the conceding goal because as you will see the striker here, who right now, as you see it in the post screen, is in a very good position because he's behind the two enemy players here, the goalkeeper and the DM. But when the throw-in is being taken, he's in front of them and essentially out of the situation. So definitely taking a disadvantage here for the blue team. But as I said earlier, probably this is a gamble decision because he thought that maybe the throw-in is for our team, so I just have to push forward. Let's see. And now here, the throw-in is for the red team. Andres here is a little bit out of position, and Amp is doing a pretty good job blocking him. And now, in this scenario, the red team are in a very good position and have a great opportunity to make an attack because essentially this is a 4 versus 3 players. Dress is out of position completely and is not going to participate in this defending scenario as much as he wants. So everything is pretty straightforward so far. We have the throw in, the striker here passes the ball down to the DM, who is more centered into the middle of the pitch and has more freedom to make the decision where you want to pass up, you want to pass down. And now I want to emphasize on something very important when it comes to defending. So in HaxBall, most of the situations when you're defending, it is it's more about attaching your players on the defending side to players on the attacking side and making sure everybody does a great job and doesn't miss the player that he's covering. So in our situation, it would be something like that. So we would have Fallen taking care of the number 10, number 4 taking care of number 1. And the thing that is very, very complex and even good teams sometimes fail to apply is that in situation like that, who takes care of that player? And the correct answer is that the goalkeeper is the one that needs to take care of that player with the ball because there is no other player. Like if the number 4 here tries to intercept, then this one is a dangerous pass, and vice versa. If here Fallen tries to press for the ball, then Iskuk would be able to receive. Whether if he went a little bit backwards to open or maybe into the space behind, it really doesn't matter. It's just the tactical logic is that every player is essentially marking a player on the opposite team, and that's how you distribute the defending responsibility. Let me clear that up real quick. So in this situation, in my opinion, everything looks so far so good. One of the most important things here for these two players is to actually maintain a good distance to the player that they're covering. And Now there isn't a rule that you can follow and say like, okay, I'm in this distance and this is the perfect distance. There is no such thing as perfect distance. It's about trying to assume and to calculate how much distance you need to keep at every single moment. But it's very important to keep an eye on that player over here that you're covering. If you're the number four, if you're falling here in that situation, and playing too close could be an error, and playing too far away could be an error as well. So it's about finding that golden balance of being not too far and not too close, because both of these positions, too far and too close, come with their disadvantages. So I would say that in the current moment, as they are right now in this pose, they look fine. Like I think that would be a good example of being keeping a good distance with the enemy, not too close, not too far. But let's see what happens next. Okay, just a quick note here. Everything kind of keeps the same, except the fact that number 10 is essentially out of the situation because the dress is pressing from behind and is pushing from that side, so it will be tough for the DM to actually make a pass in that direction, considering also that Fallen is close enough to intercept if such a move is attempted. So this player is out of the game, this player is out of the game, and again we have the situation where the only play is to shoot directly, even though here it's a little bit too far. It's not impossible, of course, to pass to number one. And another thing that I want to mention in this situation is, like I previously stated, the goalkeeper's position. So now something that the goalkeepers need to think about and to keep in mind is like, if the DM here just decides to just walk with the ball straight, when is the moment that I decide to press and stop him? Because you can't just fall back until he reaches the goal. There is a certain moment where you're saying, okay, this is enough. And in our case, we saw that the way that the blue team approached this problem is by closing on the inside slowly and slowly as the DM progressed. And this is fine in these situations, but please keep in mind that there are situations where, for example, the players are a little bit further back, and if this guy was here and if that guy was here, then Fallen would have to be somewhere around here, and of course here the number four would be a little bit closer to cover him, and that would make this approach that they're currently doing impossible. So goalkeepers really have the hard task to decide, when am I actually closing down on that guy, because as I previously said, if we distribute the responsibility of who player is responsible for who player on the enemy team, uh, the guy with the ball is essentially free. So goalkeeper is the one that is actually responsible to take care of the approaching DM. And this is tough because playing aggressive could expose the goal over here, and also a play like having a pass between these two players, and then maybe return 1-2 pass. If the goalkeeper presses like that, could be very very dangerous. So it's really a tricky subject. You have to think about it, and it comes with the practice. But in this situation, I think the goalkeeper did fine. Like the distance between him and the ball is definitely smaller than it was into the beginning. So even if, as a goalkeeper, even if you're not pressing, just staying in your position without moving backwards is still fine, because you're essentially saying to the DM, okay, you're coming, but I'm not giving you more distance. Like, this is what you have. You have to make the decision. You either shoot or you pass. Because if you keep walking with the ball, you're eventually going to walk into me and I'm going to take the ball, or you're eventually going to be closed down by one of my teammates. So far, I think the goalkeeper did fine in this situation. Maybe he could have been a little bit closer. Like, maybe around here, which would close the angles that the DM have for shooting. He wouldn't be able to shoot uh, in this line, and he wouldn't also be able to shoot in that line. Which when you're staying like that over here, he has that opportunity. Of course, the larger distance gives you more time to react, so he's playing on the safe side. This is fine, but also if you had this position over here, as you saw later down with the goal that was conceded, the shot that came from the number one over here maybe could have been prevented because you would be a lot closer to him, and when you're closer to the shot taker, essentially it's a lot more difficult for him because he doesn't have the distance that he needs to actually pass the ball behind you. Moving on to the final part of the goal, please look into the movement of number four and number one, both of their movements. Essentially, what happens is the number one is asking for the ball up here in the front, and number four is kind of like sleeping and not watching the player that he's responsible for, and he's just continually going downwards passively because this was essentially the move that number one was doing, but he surprised him by making a sudden change upwards, and that's what eventually caused the goal. Let's see. Okay, see, so now the pass is made. This player number four over here is completely out of position. Number one to make a shot, and he makes a very good shot. Even though again the goalkeeper here is in a, I would say, a very good position, not perfect, but a good position. He managed to find the line over here and to score the goal, which just compliments from my side. This is, I think, it's a very hard shot to do, but he did it perfectly, and of course they scored. Also, small final note, Fallen here on the side did a perfect job by making sure that number 10 has no way to join the attack. He closed down on the GM as much as he could to force the move by the red team, and they actually did the move, but here number 4 missed the number 1, couldn't keep up with him. It was a surprise move going downwards and then going upwards to change directions, which he couldn't follow. And then the strike was just brilliant. No chance for the blue team here. Thank you very much for watching. That was it for episode two. And like it, subscribe it, comment, and looking forward to making more of these analyses.